Okay, we're going to create the Bentwood chair, and we're going to start with a blank file, new blank file. Right-click into a blank area of this document window, choose Active Layer Scale, and we're going to make this 1/2 inch. Now, just to show you what we're going to do, I'm going to bring up another file. Right? We're going to start with a side view and a front view of a Bentwood chair. And we're going to develop two shapes. One is the shape from the front, and then one is a shape from the side. And you can see that I've highlighted that. And the idea here is that they are going to intersect, and they will create a complex curve shape like this. And if I render this, you should be able to see between the two is now a chair back shape that has a curve in two directions. So that's what we're working for. So I'm going back to this document. The new blank document set to 1/2 inch. So now I want to import some files that are representing the two shapes, the two views of the chair. So I'm going to choose Import Image, and I have some shapes here. There's one. Okay, and I'm going to import another one for the side view. File, import image file. I'm going to go through and try and find this. That's the other one. Now I'm going to have to scale these as well. So the only size I'm going to work with is the fact that this is going to be an 18-inch circle, and it's going to be 18 inches off the ground. So it's about a square. It could be 16 inches. We can make it 16. So I'm going to start by making the circle. And the radius is going to be, if it's going to be 16, it'll be 8 inches. And I'm going to place it exactly on the center at 0, 0, right there. And that's my center of the chair. And I'm going to extrude it. Model, extrude, and I'm going to make this 1.5 inches thick. And then I'm going to bring the bottom of this up, because I know that I want that to be 18 inches in the air. So the 18 inches, when I subtract the 1.5 inches, that'll be 16.5 inches, so that the top will be at 18. So that's going to be 16.5. And just to see what we've done, you can see that that's now sitting in the air, 16 with the top face sitting 16 inches in the ground from the ground, and its radius of 8 inches, which makes it 16 inches in diameter. Go back to top plan. And now what we need to do is determine this size here and scale these objects. So I'm going to select both these objects, choose Modify Scale Objects, and I'm going to do Symmetric by Distance. We've done this trick before, and using this dialog box interface, I'm going to set the size I want in this image to be 16. So I'm going to say from here to, and I'm going to press the Z key so I can get right on that point. That's supposed to be 6 inches. It's 4 feet and some change, so I'm going to type 16. And Vectorworks is going to scale the whole thing. Make sure entire drawing and scale text is not checked. Click OK. And oops. So now we have roughly the two pieces that we'd like. I can move this one directly on top, and I'm just going to nudge it into place. So it's roughly side to side, 16 inches. And so I'm going to raise this up to one side, and I'm going to rotate this left. And I'm going to also place this centered on this mark, and then I'm going to just offset it. I can offset with the shift key. Oops. Offset with the shift key, like holding the shift key, so I get that horizontal cue. Okay. Now what I want to do is raise these up so I can sort of capture them by the side. So I'll look at this from an isometric, and what I'm going to do is use the selection tool to grab this axis, put the axis here, and then I'm going to lift the axis, rotate the axis, so I have a plane that I can raise this up with. So now I'm going to come over here and find this mark with this protractor tool. I'm going to click once on the center of the rotation. I'm going to click once on the axis of the rotation, and I'm going to just stand this up. And I'll do the same thing for this one as well. I'm going to set this back to the layer plane so I can just reset this. And again, I'm going to choose this mark. I'm going to find roughly the edge of, it doesn't really matter, but the edge of the graphic essentially. And then I want to rotate this into place using, so I'm just going to tip it up. Actually, I want to rotate it along this axis. So I'm going to use the rotate tool. I have to select the piece that I want to rotate, come over here and choose, again, this, tipping it up. So now I have two views that I can draw more or less directly. And I do have some issues with the direction that it was, the two images were taken for the photograph. But I do have from the front, let's look at from the front, I'm going to have a view that I can work with to get this curve. And then from the side, I'll choose the right side. I have this centered across the seat, and I have this curve shape as well. Okay, so now I'm going to start with this shape. I really only need to get half of it, so I'm going to try with the polyline tool, and I'm going to start in this plane. I want to set this actually to the screen plane because I want to draw right on top of this. So I'm going to start with this sort of curve shape for the chair back. And you can see that behind here is the curve. So I'm going to start here, and I'll stretch it down into place when I get the curve. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to change this to a Bezier curve so I can kind of work with it in place. I want to put as few curves as possible. I'm going to take it up to the center line. And I want to adjust that now. It looks kind of goofy because of the foreshortened leg there. So now I'm going to choose the reshape tool and change the move by points. I'm just going to drag this around a little bit like that. Drag this down a little bit. One thing I can do is turn off these points. I need to do I get that more or less accurately there. And now what I want to do is stretch the whole thing down, because as I'm working now, I'm going to want to just stretch this to match the floor that I'm working with here. So I'm just going to find the bottom of those legs, and I'm going to press the Z key again so I can get more or less exact, right about there. And it looks like I need to do just a little more adjusting now. I'm going to use the horizontal cue by holding down the shift key while I'm doing that. And getting some garbage. Z key, right about there. Okay, so I've got this. It is what it is because I'm stretching a little bit. But now I've got the shape, and I can really go ahead and make this sort of tangent. What I'm really interested in making this tangent so that it looks really good when it goes around there. And I want to make this shape back, the back of the chair look characteristically sort of round like that. Okay, so I'm going to go with that, and I can flip this over by mirroring, finding the center point, and drawing the axis up so I can get the two shapes, and then I can join them by selecting 1 and 2 with the shift key and using a compose menu. So modify, compose, I have a single polyline shape that's going to represent this shape, and I'm going to now I can extrude that, and I'm just going to make this. I know it's going to be around, it's going to be way too long, but I want it to be about 36 inches. So now when I choose this, you can see that's the shape, but I want to make sure that this is extending through the chair. So I'm going to move this with the selection tool using my shift key and making sure it's the horizontal cue so that it's centered roughly over the area. Now I'm not going to worry too much about this this shape anymore because I've sort of locked into this shape like this.